I talked a little bit about Gregg Berhalter. So, in your crystal ball, all right, how do you think this shapes out next year? I mentioned next summer and how important Copa America is for Gregg Berhalter. Do you see Gregg Berhalter making it through next summer? And then if he makes it through next summer, I think he makes it through to 2026. Do you see that? And then, we've talked a little bit about the Gio situation over in Europe, how important he is to this team. But from a club perspective, it's just not gone well. And it's, at this point, I think, untenable, and he's got to move. So the Berhalter situation going forward and the Gio situation.
Yeah, I've heard a lot that there's real pressure on Gregg Berhalter to be successful at Copa, and if he's not, he could be gone. You'd still have 2 years before the World Cup to get someone new in, implement their ideas. I think it would take something catastrophic for Gregg Berhalter to lose his job next summer. We're talking elimination in the group stage. Or, look, there's levels to all this stuff, right? Like, you get to the round of 16, you lose a close game, you lose on penalties. That's a lot different than losing in the round of 16, 3 or 4-0. So I do think it would take a really horrible result or string of results for Gregg to go. I think that U.S. Soccer and sporting director Matt Crocker, they're committed to having Berhalter in charge through the World Cup. But again, nothing's set in stone. It will depend on results. And if things really go sideways, then yes, of course, U.S. Soccer would have to look into making a change. But I just don't see that happening. Regarding Gio Reyna, you're right. I mean, there's no question how talented he is. We know that. But he's not really playing at Borussia Dortmund. And at some point, he's going to have to move, or he's going to risk, not playing with the national team. You talk about guys that have started every game since Gregg's been back. Gio Reyna started all 4 games since Gregg Berhalter's been back in charge. But, does that continue going forward if he's sitting on the bench, if he's not playing? I don't know what's going on at Dortmund. I mean, I think that, there was an illness that he had that maybe impacted his fitness, his training. But the bottom line is he's not a starter there. And there's a lot of games where he's not even coming in off the bench at the moment. So that's certainly something to keep an eye on. It looks like the writing's on the wall. I know you guys have talked about this too, that he's going to have to leave Dortmund. And I don't know that that'll be in January, but if things continue the way they are the second half of the season, I don't see there's any way that he can be back in Dortmund next year.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.